1, 2, 3. It's Eden Village Homestead, 'cause we're home instead.
Hi everyone, I'm AJ. I'm the Eden Village Art Specialist, and this is Eden Village Homestead DIY video, where we're home instead, but still finding ways to connect with each other and the land. Today, we're making paper mache candlestick holders. This is a really fun way to recycle and make something that our whole family can appreciate. We're making candlestick holders so that we can connect to the spirit of Shabbat. When we celebrate Shabbat, it would be amazing to see the light of the candles held up by our own hard work so we know that we earned our rest. Shabbat is a core part of our Jewish tradition and culture. When we engage in the aspects of our culture, we should feel more connected, and we bring that sweet Shabbos vibe. Making our own candles is a reminder that the spirit of Shabbat is inside of you, and you don't need to buy it in a store. So let's go over our materials. I would recommend watching this whole video all the way through, seeing what you need and what you need to do, and then sitting down, starting your project, and using this video as a guide. So the materials you need are stiff cardstock paper, masking tape, aluminum foil, recycled newspaper, scissors, and some spare cardboard for the base of your candle. You need flour and water, and a container to put the flour and water in. So I've already made my paper mache paste, and there are a couple of different ways to make it. You can combine flour and water, 1 part flour and 2 parts water, stir it, and put it in the microwave for like 15 seconds, and then stir it again. Or you can take glue and water and mix it together on a plastic plate until it has a more fluid consistency. You can also buy paper mache paste in the store, but since we're doing this ourselves, I wanted to offer a... no. Sorry about that. I wanted to offer a way to do this with materials that you would probably have in your house. The process goes like this. First, we're gonna make the foundation. We're gonna use paper and tape to make a tube, so that we can create a base that we're going to paper mache around. We can also use aluminum foil to mold a candle holder in the same way. So this is the design that I chose. I did this one with aluminum foil. The one I'm making in this video, I'm going to use the paper tube method. Both work, and I'm trusting you to be creative and solve the problems that might arise in your own little adventure. I put little hearts on this. And then the candle, which I've lost. Where's my candle though? And then the candle goes right in the top. So you need a candle for this part to measure the circumference so you can make sure that the candle fits in the candle holder. You're going to take a piece of paper and you're going to wrap that around the candle so that you create the structure for the paper mache. So you roll the paper around the candle. And it doesn't have to be super pretty. Just make sure that it's tight so that the candle's stuck. And then you take your masking tape and you tape all the way down the paper. We're going to fast forward this part. Okay, when you're done wrapping, you just pull the candle out and set it aside for later. And now you have a little tube. Do this twice, and now you have 2 candlesticks. Take your cardboard and cut it out in a circle. This is going to be the base for the candlestick. It would probably be helpful for you to get a glass and then trace around it so that you can make a perfect circle. I'm just eyeballing it, because I don't mind if it's a little wonky. Then you get your tube, your tape, and you secure the tube to the tape, not to the tape, to the circle with a little wing, and then tape right over the edge. And then do this like 3 or 4 times so it's secure. I'll show you in a second. Okay, when it's done, it should look like this, like a little rocket almost. Now our basic structure is ready. If you have any bits and pieces that you want to decorate your candle with, now is the time. I'm going to use more aluminum foil to make a little design around my candle so that it's more fun. So I want my candle to have little feet because I think that would be cute. So I'm going to use aluminum foil to sculpt feet. So there's a little bit holding off. Let's get closer. You want to put the masking tape on so that it comes off a little bit, so that it's a little wing. And then you get more tape and you wrap it around the first part so that it's more secure. Like that. Now it has a little foot. Okay, I'm back. And now my candlestick holder has three little feet. So to avoid making things more complicated for myself, I'm gonna stop there before I get carried away. Hi, now I'm down here so that you can see me and the table. So we've got our paper mache mix. Give it a good stir. It should be a little bit lumpy, but liquidy enough to use. And I've got my pre-prepared newspaper strips that have insisted on blowing away in the wind several times. So get something, if you're doing this outside, get something to hold them down. I'm using a ping pong racket and a large piece of cardboard. So you want these to be a manageable size. So I'm gonna rip this in half, and then it's time to get messy. So you're just gonna use your hands to coat each paper in some of the paper mache mix. And you can get gloves if you want to, but this stuff washes off really easily. And just go ham. Try to get the paper mache as tight as possible. This will just make it, that'll make it look better. But you're gonna need to put on several layers. So this is the part that we fast forward the video. Just wrap each piece of paper around the formation and make sure to flatten it down with your fingers. This is how far I've gotten in my claw-footed masterpiece. So the parts on the bottom are a little bit harder to do, so that's why we're doing them in real time, because you might have a complicated part on yours, because I'm sure that you got pretty creative with your design as well. So this is where you might want to make the pieces smaller. So I'm going to make them thumb-sized, dunk them in. And you don't want your paper to be too wet, otherwise you're making more problems for yourself. So use the small pieces and just carefully make sure to cover the entire little extremity. You want to go around the sides and the bottom as well. You want to cover everything so you don't leave anything out. So just keep going, poking into the little crevices as well as behind. So poke, poke. And then this one, in between the toes, poke, poke. Because since the paper's wet, we can push it down and mold it. Underneath, poke, poke, and so on and so forth. Okay, Once you've got your more difficult areas covered, what you're going to do is dip your finger into the paper mache paste and use your finger to sculpt around everything and push it in so that it's more flat. So I'm just poking everything down and flattening all the little extra pieces that were sticking out down so they're sticky. And then you just want to rinse and repeat. Okay, now we're going to talk about the top. So you don't want to see the inside, you want to cover everything, and you don't want your paper mache to be sticking out at the top so that it's fuzzy. So get a long piece of paper, coat it very thoroughly on both sides. And wrap it around the top so that some of it is sticking up, and then spiral it down the rest of the candle. And don't worry if it looks messy, we'll fix that later. Then poke in and like fold down the top. And squish it all together. So now it should look clean, like this. And you'll still see the inside, but don't worry about that. You want to make sure to have at least 3 or 4 paper mache layers. That's just going to make the final product better. So take the time to just keep working on your paper mache. I'm going to come back and show you guys my completely paper mache product. New day, new fit, paper mache is dry. So now it's time for the super fun, exciting part. We get to paint our paper mache. I picked 3 colors, and I'm just going to use this cardboard to mix them together and make a fun design. You're going to want to do a base coat and then maybe let that dry for 5 minutes and then come back and paint more over that so everything is covered.
From the heavens down to the earth, and hallelujah. Praise Hashem, both the sun and the moon up high. Hallelujah. Praise Hashem.
Okay, mine is completely covered. And don't cover the bottom, it'll just make things sticky, you don't need to do it. So I'm going to put this aside for 5 minutes and let it dry. And then I'm going to go get some water to clean my paintbrush. Heck yeah. Okay, now I'm going to add details.
Hallelujah. Praise Hashem, snow, vapor, stormy winds, and hallelujah. Praise Hashem, all the big animals of the jungle, hallelujah. Praise Hashem, up on high, way down low, and hallelujah.
Ta-da! I think that's going to be my finished product. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for tuning in to Eden Village Homesteading, and I hope you're having a great day. Much love. Bye.